Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So considering in our previous videos we've covered all the characters that we could possibly see in Poppy Playtime. So now it's time to have some fun and actually make our own characters and implant them in the world of Poppy Playtime. So we'll go through their gameplay mechanics, their backstory, and all that good stuff as well. And the first character that we're starting with is Chompa Whompa. So before we get into their video, I'll just state that this is a made up character and we don't really expect them nor really predict them to be in the game of Poppy Playtime. This is just a cool what if scenario and a fun custom character we get to make, and we hope you enjoy the video. And lastly, before we start this video, do be sure to subscribe to GamerTube as it helps out a lot and it is greatly appreciated. And it also keeps you up to date with all the videos that we post. Alrighty, well let's take a better look into this custom character of Chompa Whompa. So in our previous videos, we explored all the possible characters that we might see throughout the chapters of Poppy Playtime. We went into their gameplay mechanics, locations, and overall story. The characters we've seen throughout have been Kissy Missy, Bron the Dinosaur, Cat Bee, Boogiebot, Candy Cat, and lastly, Poppy herself. But now it's time to ask the question, what if there were other toys that we haven't seen before? Maybe these creatures were never made public and only kept as prototypes. Or maybe they were the rejected concept characters that Elliot Ludwig never let see the light of day. And maybe this was for good reason. So in the first chapter, we meet the terrifying creature Huggy. We also know there is another character just like them named Kissy Missy. But what if there was a third huggable character that we never saw? This character would be Chompa Whompa. Chompa Whompa was originally meant to be the third character in the Huggy Wuggy family of toys. They were considered to be the more grumpy kind of character out of Huggy and Kissy. Their body is much larger and their arms are also wider as well. Their colour scheme is a dark forest green with the signature bright red lips and yellow hands. Their mascot version of themselves would be the same height as Huggy Wuggy. Their head shape is also different from Huggy and Kissy. The designers gave Chompa a more larger lumpy head to give them a goofy whimsical look. Now the main difference with Chompa Whompa would be their arms. Seeing that Huggy Wuggy had that disturbing mouth filled with razor sharp teeth, and our version of Kissy Missy having the sharp claws, Chompa Whompa would have two smaller mouths on each wrist filled with razor sharp teeth and a multitude of strange pointed bones sticking out on either side. When they grab the player, this is what they'd attack with. No one knows where these strange mouths came from, but they appeared to be organic and acted just like real mouths. So now let's take a look at their location. So in our original videos, we pretty much explored all the possible areas we could see. But in this what if scenario, there could be a new secret area that we haven't seen before. The player could access this new area through a vent or a secret door that opens up after completing a puzzle. As they enter through into this new area, they would find themselves in the rejected toy storage facility. This would be the area where all the defective and rejected toy concepts would end up. This area was only for Playtime Co workers, and wasn't typically shown to the public or was a part of the factory tour. Playtime Co definitely had a large and extensive range of toy characters. But there were so much more that never made it into the mass production. Amongst all these forgotten characters was Chompa Whompa. So as the player enters into this new area of the factory, they would need to solve a number of puzzles to advance forward. These puzzles could be more of the power node puzzles that we've seen, or maybe something new. There could be a puzzle where the player needs to sort through a bunch of rejected and defective toys. They would need to press the correct switch to either let them pass or deny them and let them get incinerated. All the toys would vary in size. They could be small or very large. Eventually, after sorting through all the toys, there would be one final toy on the conveyor belt. This one was massive. It also looked like another version of Huggy Wuggy. But this one was different. As soon as the player goes to press the switch, the disturbing creature comes to life. They raise their arms, and beneath their wrists are two sets of mouths filled with razor-sharp teeth. All of a sudden, the door next to the puzzle segment finally opens. The player rushes through as Chompa Whompa follows after them. The player would have to run away from this frightening creature and try their best not to get grabbed. If Chompa gets a hold of them, their sharp-toothed mouths would devour the player. So in this gameplay segment, the player would have to make their way through all the piles of defective toys in order to get away from Chompa. The player could even have the ability to grab some toys and throw them towards Chompa to slow them down. Anything that they throw would get eaten by Chompa's mouths, and that would buy them some more time to get away. Alongside all the toys, there could also be a number of obstacles that they need to get through. These obstacles could be gates that the player has to quickly memorize the sequence of the switches. They would need to do these puzzles whilst Chompa was still on their tail. Each gate would increase in difficulty, and with the added stress of Chompa chasing them, they could easily mess up. They wouldn't have much time to try again, as Chompa would quickly grab them. After the player has cleared all the obstacles, they would finally come to the exit. In front of them was an elevator. Once they call the elevator, they would have to wait until it opens. In the meantime, they would have to avoid being grabbed by Chompa. They would have to do their best to keep away from the creature as it follows them. The player would have to do their best to stay alive whilst the elevator was being called down. Eventually, the elevator would open up and the player would finally be free. Just at the last second, Chompa would hold the doors open as one of their arms would reach in and try to devour the player. The player would have to repeatedly press the button to close the doors on their arm until they let go. After pressing the button a couple of times, the doors finally close and our protagonist is safe. For now. So I think Chompa Whompa would be a great addition to the Poppy Playtime cast of characters. It would be interesting to have another Huggy Wuggy-like character, but with a sinister twist. But considering there's a great chance we'll never really see a character like this in any future chapters or games, it's still a fun what-if character, and I think they would fit right into the Poppy Playtime family. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. Also in the comment section down below, let us know what you thought of Chompa Whompa and what other characters you'd like to see going forward. Alrighty everyone, well until the next video, I'll catch you later, bye.